Brad, Eric said he would not be here for be on for the working session, but he would be for the meeting. Call to order this working session, Bath County Board of Education, January 20th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Discussion of tonight's agenda. Construction update.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, good evening. I'm Bob Barton. I'm with Pax Walker. And Jonathan Ruiz from Ross Torrance here, just in time. But I'll give you the piece from the construction management side this evening. Most importantly, I think that the big question everybody wants to know right now is when is it going to bid? When's the middle school going to bid? We finished our calendar today. We've received final drawings for our construction management team review, and we've begun that process. And one of the things we finalized is the bid calendar. So we put that together today, and we established a pre-bid date of February 10th and a bid opening day for March 3rd. And I have both of those times set at 2 p.m., Brittany. And whomever will need to know to schedule the room at the annex for us. Usually that works out very well. That's where we have those meetings. So I intend to email this schedule to Dr. Melton and all those that need it that are in this room to share and distribute accordingly. And we do have what we feel like is great interest in the project because, as you know, we had a little bit of delay while we were waiting on the flow data. And during that time, we've been talking about it with numerous contractors, so we hope and expect the participation to be very good. We can't guarantee that, but we certainly hope so. We feel like there's strong interest for this project to get started. And I know you guys are excited, but that's really all I have for a construction update. I know we are also prepared to discuss the other item that Jonathan sent you the letter of recommendation on. That was the early gear package. Any questions of me? I'll keep it brief and move on. Yes, ma'am. Say that again. 2 p.m. for both of them. One of the things I've talked to Brittany about, and just to let you know, the only date when I send this schedule out, Dr. Melton, that's not on there is the bond sale date, and she's going to coordinate with Mr. Theinert at RSA and establish that, and we'll plug that date in. And then we expect to start construction around April 3rd. Any other questions? Be happy to answer anything you have. Okay, Jonathan had asked me to explain a little bit about the timeline. So earlier this evening, I spoke with Dr. Melton, and when I talked about we received the final drawings, what we're doing, our team is doing right now, we're doing our final review and any updates to our bid documents, just carefully checking those, checking the plans, checking the specifications, and then we're finalizing our language that we use to prepare and send out the notices for bidding for each individual bid package. So that takes normally about a month. We shortened our timeline down because while we were in a wait period, we were still working over the holidays, so we were able to establish an earlier bid date. So we'll advertise after we finish our review. We'll finish about the 1st of February, maybe around the end of January, and we'll have the documents sent to Lynn Imaging for distribution around the beginning of February. And then we'll consider that to be the advertisement, and then we'll establish the pre-bid about a week later, which is on February the 10th. So there takes a little bit of time in between, and then from the pre-bid date to the bid date's about 3 weeks. Okay, I think I've used up all my time. I'm going to let Mr. Ruiz step up.
Hi, everyone. So, as Bob mentioned, the actual agenda item for tonight is a letter of recommendation for the switchgear early equipment package. We got 3 bids over the holiday, and after we reviewed them, there was a difference between different costs, but ultimately the driving force for our recommendation is the lead time for delivery. And so in your recommendation letter, we're recommending that Graybar is the bid to accept, mainly because they were the soonest date for delivery of the actual switchgear to be on site. Important because a lot of the initial work that has to happen for this construction depends on the building power being online, full stop for the entire construction process, and there's not a good time to do a switchover if there's not a switchgear on site by the time we need to do that summer switchover. So their lead time was the shortest of 60 days. The second lowest lead time was 80 days, and then the longest lead time was 210 days. So just putting that out there, that was the main driving force for this recommendation, was the lead time between the 3 options. Definitely, if later you all have questions about that, we can talk about them, but at least know that that would just be for the material of the switchgear. And as Bob says, in March, we'll have all of the rest of the project bid out. The non-agenda item that I do want your input on after you've been able to do all your other working session items is to talk about the high school graphics to make sure that we have the right ones selected so I can get them to a supplier and figure out the logistics for when those can get replaced. Beyond that, I have Board Appreciation Month gift. It's some popcorn just to say thank you all for all the work you've done all year round. I think there's like multiple bags in there so you all can take some, but ultimately I have a gift from my office to hand over you all. But that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Is this the right one? Everybody agrees this is the right graphic?
Just to clarify, you have 3 images. That's because there's the main one that goes into the main lobby that faces the parking lot, and then the 2 smaller ones are the ones that would go in the concession stand. That way they're the true real red consistently among all 3.
Thank you. Discussion of consent items. Discussion of the SFCC offer of assistance and the fiscal year 27 draft budget.
Hello. So the SFCC offer is like the annual offer that we get from them, and it's this year $17,779. It just says that we have to spend that toward our district facility plan, which we do, our construction fund. And then the draft budget, of course, is just, at this point, what I know now, so it's going to change before the tentative budget. So for the draft budget, we have a beginning balance of 6.2 million, which is a decrease from our beginning balance now, which is what I'm projecting. Our estimated SEEK revenue based on the forecast that KD gives us is $10.5 million. I've budgeted for the purchase of 2 buses, budgeted for 4 SRO positions to stay in the budget. And then I just used the same staffing allocations that we used in the May 1 allocations for this past year. So that's just for the draft. Of course, when I do the tentative budget, we will update that to what real allocations show. And allocations will be coming to you all next month to approve for preliminary March 1 allocations. That's the amount of teachers that each school gets. I do budget for one additional teaching positions, and then I usually do 2 additional aide positions. And I'll leave that in during the draft and the tentative. And I do that because in case after you all give final allocations, in case over the summer we have a large influx of kids that come in and we need to add additional teacher, I always budget for that just in case. I did budget a change this year over what you all are used to seeing in the budget is like a 5-year maintenance plan for the Crossroads HVAC system. So I have in our budget like $150,000 that I will be budgeting out over the next 5 years. And Phil can talk more about that if he wants to, but I guess the plan is to replace some of the units each year so that we're not stuck with replacing the whole thing at once. And I do plan to take a capital funds request next year to cover that expenditure. So it'll still be coming from construction funds, but I do have to budget for it. And of course, the biggest question that you all may have is what contingency looks like. In the draft budget, our contingency is at $1 million, which is 3.85%. State law requires a minimum of 2%, so we do meet that. But if you think about $1 million, it's not very much if you look at what could go wrong. So I'd like to see that gradually increase if we can. Any questions about the budget?
Has our enrollment stayed about the same, or have we?
I think we've lost a few in enrollment, but attendance is staying pretty steady from last year. So as long as that stays pretty steady, and the SEEK per pupil is going to be what was in the last budget cycle, the estimate for SEEK should be about what KDE says it's going to be at this point. The only big things that could change that are, of course, transportation is a big part of it, and then special ed. So like if we have a lot more special ed numbers, it could go up, but I do budget that conservatively. So I do expect at least 10.5 next year in SEEK funding.
With your budget that you've prepared, or your, I'm going to call it guesstimating,
Yes.
if we're only at 1 million on our contingency and with the expenses going at the rates we have now, will that contingency go down or will it go up or will it stay the same?
So it depends on how the beginning balance rolls over for next year. If the beginning balance comes in over what I'm estimating, then our contingency will go up. If our beginning balance comes in around the same and SEEK comes in around exactly what I've budgeted here, contingencies should stay about the same. Of course, it does depend on if we add or say that we get a lot more children somehow, like in the spring and the summer, and we have to add a lot more teachers to, make the allocations work, then contingency may go down, but it should stay around the same, especially because we're taking capital funds requests to kind of help with the overspending that our general fund is doing. So, of course, if we stop taking capital funds requests and we continue spending in the way that we've been spending historically for the past few years, then it's going to eat away at our contingency. So, we just have to watch the extra teachers, that type thing.
Is that where it goes? Is that what our number one, why our contingency goes down is for the extra teachers? Because, we need extra teachers because we have extra kids. So the number of children are not enough to pull in the payroll for a teacher. Is that what we're saying? We're getting some, but not enough, and we have to provide a teacher, which is causing us to go over budget.
Right, because sometimes the allocations can be over one child. And if you're looking at one child, that's around $4,500. And one extra teacher is $60,000 with fringes. So, if I had to say it's anything, it is, I don't know if it's teaching salaries, but it's salaries and fringes in general, just because that eats up a majority of our budget.
Okay.
Thanks, Brittany. Discussion of the 25-26 school calendar.
Dr. Watkins, it's yours.
We need to amend the 25-26 calendar. Dr. Melton and I have had some conversations about probably what the best way is to do that. The way the variable calendar is set up is we're on 1,062 hours. So our calendar, the more days we put in, 158 days is our minimum. That's our bare minimum, but for instructional purposes and funding and all of that stuff, we try to go a little bit in excess of that. And this year we built our calendar around 162 days. Next year we're going for 165. But trying to get to that 162 day mark, we need to add some days back in. We would like to look at adding President's back in and the planning day in March that was planned, and then we'll add that planning day back to the end. There are some other options for extending the day a couple of minutes and things like that, but it's up to you all how you want to proceed with that.
So you want President's Day and then a planning day in March, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be put back into the calendar,
What is it? I couldn't hear you.
to put back as a school day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like them regular instructional days.
Yeah, that'll help us with 2 days, so that'll put us back at our 160. And then if we need to take any other days, we can amend from there.
With the weather, it's supposed to come in Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
How bad's that going to hurt us next week?
Well, we're taking an NTI day tomorrow, so that'll be NTI day number 3. And then, so we have 10 NTI days. And then we have the 2 days we can put back in the calendar, and that'll increase our hours a little bit. And then we'll just see from there what Dr. Melton decides to do with NTI. It comes down to him and what you all want to do as far as putting days back in the calendar.
I know we have a lot of trips and stuff planned over spring break,
Right.
so that's not going to be an option, is it?
No. And we're not to a point where we need to do that by any means.
Okay.
We just
Okay.
need to be conscious of what we're doing from this point forward.
That was going to be my next question, is if we needed, what we needed to do.
And I've talked, oh, go ahead.
Well, can we add more NTI days, since they're instructional days to our, if we have more days off, or is that gonna lengthen the calendar year?
Well, we have 10 NTI days allotted to us from the state. So right now, as of tomorrow, we will have used 3 and we'll have 7 left. So if we missed every day next week, we could, we would still have NTI days. But after that, then we'll have to add to the end of the year, which right now we are a couple of days past Memorial Day if we add on to the end. But Memorial Day does fall, I think, the 25th this year, if I'm not mistaken. And so that gives us just a little bit of extra time before June.
Well, if everybody gets the snow, the state may give us more NTI days
And they
anyway.
might. There's a lot of districts, that are at NTI Day 7, 8, 9, and they realize that, I believe.
Okay.
And also, we'll know more by the time we meet in February. And by then we'll have worked out, if we added 7 minutes to the day, how many days could that pick us up by the end if we added 10? And we've looked at some scenarios where we could put it in where we're already in the building already.
Right.
So I think we could make it work and change the instructional time. So we've looked at some things, but I think to do anything past just to prove those 2 days right now wouldn't be prudent. I think we would still have time at our February meeting to be able to make up probably 2 to 3 days if we needed to as far as hours. So it's not a major rush at the moment, but I would like to have those 2 days if we could put them back as instructional.
What is that day in March?
I think it's March the 9th. It's the day after daylight savings time. The calculations we did as far as adding minutes were adding 10 minutes or 15 minutes and basically getting 2 days or 3 days, which that was calculated from January and how many days we had left. So that would change a little bit in February, but you could probably get a day or 2 days back by doing that, if that's something you want to look into in the future.
Thank you.
Do y'all have any other questions?
Discussion of the Board of Education 2026 meeting calendar. Everybody okay with that? The dates? Okay. Working session adjourned.
Good evening, Mr. Concrete. Can you hear me?
I can.
Thank you.
That's fine, yes. Call to order this Bath County Board of Education special meeting, January 20th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Discussion and possible action on tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda as presented.
I have a motion by Carla, second by Kim. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes. Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's please take a moment of silent devotion. Amen. Discussion and possible action on appointing a board chair for 2026.
I'll make a motion to appoint Barb Razor as board chair for 2026.
I have a motion by Carla, second by Ashley. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on appointing a board vice chair for 2026. I make a motion to appoint Carla Bowling as board chair or vice chair for 2026. I have a motion by Barbara, second by Kim. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes. Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on appointing a board secretary for 2026.
I'll make a motion to appoint Dr. Milton as board secretary for 2026.
I have a motion by Carla, second by Kim. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on appointing a board treasurer for 2026.
I'll make a motion to appoint Brittany Combs as the board treasurer for 2026.
I have a motion by Carla, second by Ashley. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8 is board appreciation proclamation. Dr. Milton will introduce our speaker. Dorothy Clemens.
Ms. Clemens, Ms. Clemens, if you want to step up to the podium and read the proclamation, and we do appreciate you coming and doing that for us.
Thank you. At this time, we are going to have a proclamation honoring the members of the Bath County Board of Education. Whereas our community values equality as education as a vital step along the pathway to success for our children. And whereas Barbara Razor, Carla Bowling, Eric Conkright, Kim Carrick, and Ashley Beadle contribute significantly to the community throughout their service on the Bath County Board of Education. And whereas these decision makers are responsible for maintaining a strong, effective budgetary oversight, high standards for employment, and a safe, well-managed set of school facilities, and whereas these board members are serving our community with integrity, honor, and commitment to our children's futures, and whereas of January 2026 marks Kentucky observation of their contribution through the School Board Recognition Month. Therefore, I, Dorothy Clemens, Sharpsburg Mayor, do hereby proclaim the month of January 2026 throughout this community as a School Board Recognition Month, and urge all citizens to honor Barbara Razor, Carla Bowling, Eric Conkright, Kim Carrick, and Ashley Beasley for their service. Thank you very much.
Item 9 is our student spotlight.
At OES, one of the greatest opportunities available to our students is participation in our drama club. Our drama club is a fabulous after-school program where students not only learn about theater and performance, but also build confidence, creativity, and communication skills. I am very grateful to Ms. Pratt for the time, energy, and passion that goes into making this program possible. I am also so incredibly proud of each and every one of our students that choose to participate. They work tirelessly to show our community what OES is all about. So I now present to you our OES Drama Club.
The OES Drama Club is here to represent Owensville Elementary School in tonight's board spotlight. Under the direction of Miss Tanya Pratt, the OES Drama Club has brought Broadway to Little Old Bath County for the past 11 years. OES students have enjoyed many well-known and well-loved productions straight from Broadway in New York City through the Drama Club's partnership with Music Theater International.
Since 2014, the OES Drama Club has produced 17 shows to date. Some of our productions included Annie Jr., Beauty and the Beast Jr., Aladdin Jr., Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Jr.,
and The Lion King Jr., The Little Mermaid Jr., Moana Jr., Matilda Jr., Shrek Jr., Newsies Jr., and Descendants the Musical.
We are here tonight to tell you a little about our 18th show. You may not recognize the title, but we think you are going to be just as excited as we are. You see, our next production is one that very few people have got to experience.
In fact, our show will be the debut performance of this show in Kentucky. This Broadway production was created and released in January of 2025 and is taking the nation by storm.
Welcome to Dare to Dream Jr., a Disney musical review. This show is packed with as many favorite Disney tunes they could possibly fit. There are songs from classic films, songs from more recent contemporary films, and more.
In addition to the music, what lies at the core of this show and at the core of all Disney stories is the belief that your dreams matter. With an original story, Dare to Dream Jr. asks each character to look inside their heart and think about something they want, something they dream about. We invite you to attend our musical review and debut performance of Dare to Dream Jr. on April 24th and April 25th. We hope this musical review inspires you to unlock the dreamer in each of you and that it enlists in you a confidence that you can achieve anything you set your mind to.
We will be performing 2 songs for you today from Dare to Dream Jr. What you're about to see is in the very beginning stage, as we have only began practice last week.
good. Good job, guys. Very good. Oh, really? That's a good job. She does a good job with them. Give them a chance to get out. Give them a few minutes to clear out. I said give them a few minutes to. Item 10, Superintendent and Board Communication.
I want to update the board that, of course, I was at the Kentucky Association of School Administrators School Safety Committee meeting in Frankfort on Friday, January 9th. Of course, I'm currently right now working on a KDE diagnostic review of Fayette County schools. We're in the process. I'm also a member of the Budget and Revenue Bills Review Committee for KSA during this legislative session. We're preparing, as Ms. Combs has said, going through the staffing allocations, looking at doing it at the end of January and early February to bring that to you to the February meeting. We met with our new teacher cadre on Monday, January 12th, and had a great meeting with them. We're in the final draft stages of working on our Bath County Portrait of a Learner, Portrait of a Graduate that eventually we will, hopefully in the next couple of months, bring to the board for approval. Of course, we had our monthly leadership team meeting that same day and finalized our instructional plans for the remainder of the school year. Well, that stands corrected because we're now working on that again because of NTI and weather. But that's what teachers are going to work on the next couple of days to really get ready for as we have fewer days remaining in our calendar. And we are, I'm glad to say, since we're going through Title I program monitoring this year, that we are very close to getting all of our documentation together and should have that all ready for the second week of February, and they will be here March 17th through 19th, if I remember correctly, to do the interviews and do the monitoring. So that's what I have on the communication. Personnel actions, you've got some hires, you've got some resignations. Because we're going through the implementation of Q's, which is with technology, we've deactivated some older substitutes and things like that that were in our system. We have to clean that up, and that's what the personnel report basically shows.
We also had 10B fundraisers, which we do not have any this month. 10C, CDIP and CSIP presentation is Dr. Bailey.
Our CDIP is typically up to 40 pages long, and I think you would appreciate the one-pager there, that you'll see 5 different items that are that are highlighted in our district improvement plan. It's a combination of the CSIPs across the school, the Comprehensive School Improvement Plan, merging them all together and pointing all our arrows in the same direction. You notice the first goal that we have is for our achievement gap. That's in the blue box at the top. Our achievement targeted group is for our economically disadvantaged students. And those are the students that are targeted as free and reduced lunch. That's how those are identified across the state. And you'll notice that the goal is by 28-29, Bath County Schools will have increased the math and reading scores by 12 percentage points. That's 4% annually. On the right side, those are 5 key steps of how we will achieve it. If you want to know more details on that, you can get into the CDIP, and it'll also show progress monitoring and things of that nature. The next is the red box, is the math achievement. The goal is to increase from currently where we are at 38% of our students scoring proficient or distinguished. The goal is to be at 50% of our students to score at that milestone. The same for reading achievement, and this is for all students. Reading achievement to increase from the baseline of 47, proficient distinguished, up to 55% of our students proficient distinguished, which are significant gains but are very attainable. With what we have in place, we are already seeing progress in that direction, so it is encouraging. The yellow box, you'll notice quality of school and climate safety. That's another element of your district improvement plan, and school improvement plans are to consider not just the academics, but the entire climate and culture safety of the school. And one way that that's determined, when the students complete their KSA, they also do a quality of school and climate safety survey, and we know for what surveys are. The validity of those can sometimes be questioned. However, we did notice a couple core questions that stood out to us. And if you notice in the yellow box there below that picture of the students high-fiving each other, you'll notice that number 23 and number 25 were a couple questions that didn't score as well as what we'd hoped. The students were asked, are students being mean or hurtful to other students is not a problem for this school. And 25 is students being mean or hurtful to students online, not a problem. That scored at 38% combined, and our goal is to increase that significantly to 52% through the systems that we have in place and we're implementing through our positive behavior intervention systems, through all the work that's being done through our support staff and our teachers and the supports that they have. And you'll see the details on that. And finally, you'll see post-secondary readiness. This is the goal that the high school is working diligently on, and I've been in many meetings with them in doing that, where we are implementing systems to ensure that every student have the opportunity for completers in their career pathways. And we've addressed some issues, but also they are the high school, Ms. Brandenburg, Mr. Adams, and her counseling team has put together a good plan. We've partnered with Gear Up and One Go to drive that post-secondary readiness improvement, and having 95% of our students future ready. And that is all a part of the element of our Portrait of a Graduate as well. And all these things are working together to improve our district. Everything's looking great, and as Dr. Melton has said many times, we're moving in the right direction, and this is just a snapshot of what our district improvement plan has. As I said, this is in our website, and you guys have direct access to that, each school and the district, that you can find the details for that. But as far as that goes, anyone have any questions or anything else that anybody would like to ask regarding this one-page document? All right, thank you guys.
Discussion and possible action approving the following consent items. December 15th, 2025 minutes, December financial statement, claims, superintendent expenditures, superintendent December 2025 working calendar, travel, grant, review of all monthly financial reports of all funds, pay bills through January 31st, 2026, approval for board members to attend conferences and meetings to obtain required hours for the entire calendar year of 2026, accept banking service proposals and bids, MOA of Specialized Alternatives for Families and Youth of Kentucky Incorporated, Frisky Assurance Certification for 2026 through 2028, approval to create a Bath County Middle School Volleyball Booster Group, pole vault pad.
I'll make that motion to approve consent items 11A through 11O. Oh, 11P through 11P.
I have a motion by Carla, second by Ashley. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 13, discussion and possible action to approve the early switchgear equipment bid package for the Bath County Middle School BG 25-084 to Gray Bar Electric.
I'll make that motion to approve the early switchgear equipment bid package for the Bath County Middle School with the BG 25-084 with Gray Bar Electric.
I have a motion by Carla, a second by Kim. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes. Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on the Bath County High School gym renovations. I don't think we have information enough on this at this time to discuss this, so I think we just need to move on.
I agree.
Table it till maybe next month. Item 15, discussion and possible action to approve the SFCC offer of assistance in the amount of $17,779.
I'll make the motion to approve the School Facilities Construction Commission offer of assistance in the amount of $17,779.
I have a motion by Carla, a second by Ashley. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on approving the fiscal year 27 draft budget.
I'll make that motion to approve the fiscal year 27 draft budget as presented.
I have a motion by Carla, a second by Kim. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action to amend the 25-26 school calendar.
I'll make the motion to amend the 25-26 school calendar to make February 16th, 2026, which is President's Day, and March 9th of 2026, a teacher planning day, instructional days.
I have a motion by Carla, second by Ashley. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on approving the 2026 calendar for the board meetings.
I'll make the motion to approve the Bath County School Board will hold its regular monthly meetings on the fourth Monday of each month at 7 p.m. with the two exceptions of May and December being the third Monday of the month.
I have a motion by Carla, a second by Kim. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Before we do that, do we need to, say the location? Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.